Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. We continue with RISC-V Assembly. And if you have any experience programming, and you look at the last video, you may be like, hey, I just want to load a register. We know that hello world is what we call the obligatory um, program for anybody learning any language. So the first thing you learn to do is how do we print hello world in any language? I want to tell you that in assembly, it's very easy to print hello world, just as easy as it is to do in C, and C++, and Rust or Java or anything like that. So let's get into the program. So again, just follow along with me. And at the end of it, I'll kind of give the walkthrough and we'll see what's happening. So what we want to do is we want to create a data section. So we say that data, right? And I like these little type-ins. So it says subsequent items stored in data segment and its variable address. So RAS kind of telling us, hey, data will be stored in the data segment section that we saw when it execute. And the data I want to store is we actually want to store a string. So let's say that string, we'll call that string message, right? And we actually want to store it as in the data segment and add a null terminator at the end. So we store it as a string. Don't think too much about this. Just know we store in a string. So we'll say ASCIZ and we'll say hello. Instead of world, we'll say hello RISC-V. Right? We put a exclamation mark, and we'll actually add our little new line character at the end. Right? So that's the string that we are storing. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to have our text section. And remember the description of the last section, it's telling the CPU that, okay, guys, we have data. Now this is the code you go in and run. So we'll say that text, and we'll say that global main. All right? So because we tell the CPU we want to start running from main, we have to create our main label now. And bear with me a little bit. So the first thing we'll do is we'll do LA A0 message, right? And what this is doing is it's loading the address of message. So this is message here. It's loading that address into, register A0, right? Now, so far, we have really only been dealing with the registers, but we can also do something called system calls. And what a system call basically is a way for us to interact with the operating system from the environment. So because we want to rewrite the console, we need a way to kind of do that. And the way we do it is a system call. The system call we'll make is one for printing string. We'll say li, we'll say a7, 4, and that is the system call for printing strings. You'll also learn the system calls for doing other things, but this is the string system call. And then we'll say equal, and that actually makes the system call. So on line 10, we're saying, hey, this is the system call for making string. Line 11, we're saying, actually make the system call. Then we'll say, load immediate, right, A7, 10. Right, so this is the system call for exit. And remember when you done our last program, it's still here. We see this instruction, load access error. We don't want any errors in our program. So we make a proper system number call, a proper exit, and then we'll do a call for that as well. Right? Now, in case you want to know how we comment our programs, we just use, the number sign symbol, hash. So we'll say hashtag load address of message into A0. Right? And the address is loaded. So what we'll do is we Control S to save this program. Right? We'll do run. We'll say assemble. You could also use F3, but let's go through the motions, assemble. And click our run button here. And we see hello RISC-V, right? Look at our console here, just like our hello world program. So program is finished, running 0. So return 0, which is what your operating system expects. So we wouldn't have any errors, right? So that's how we do, printing a string, and that's the hello world equivalent in RISC-V assembly.